Good evening, everyone. Um, Welcome back to your second lesson on Python for this beginner's track. But before we go for what we have for tonight, I would love to know if there's anyone that has difficulty with the previous lessons. In the previous class, we talked about the Python print function and Python input function as well as variables. So I want to be sure if everyone understood, like follow up in that class. So I want to assume that we all understood the previous class, right?
Yeah, I understood.
Okay. So to be sure, all right. I want us to run this little program. Okay, not actually run this, just explain what this code does. Let me copy it from here. Python IDLE and paste this. All right. So have zoomed in. I've increased my font so that everyone can see the screen clearly. So I want someone to explain this code for me. It's actually what we did in the last class, just the print and the input function. Nothing much. Is there anyone that can explain that code?
Yes, I can actually explain the code.
Okay.
Okay, so the code simply takes, okay, first of all, the first line we see weight in kilograms. So that's a variable.
Okay.
And it's going to be, on the console it's going to show enter your weight in kilograms.
Okay.
Then the user actually gives his weight. Then what the next line now converts whatever the person gave, converts it to pounds by multiplying it by 2.205.
Okay.
And it's now going to be stored in weight in pounds variable. So this next line now says you should print, dear user, your weight in pounds is. Then it's now going to give whatever the value was that it had been calculated, or it had been converted to in pounds. So it's just going to give it after that.
That's really good. So let's just run the code and see if what you explain is actually what's going to happen. Okay. Please mute yourself, please. All right. Okay. So according to that first line there, it asks us for our weight in kilograms. Okay. So I'll just put, let me say, I'll put something like 250. Okay. And it just does the math as simple as that. Okay. And the person that explained that code, well done, sir. You tried. That's really that was actually correct. Very correct. Okay. Okay, so let's just take this last one, then we move to what we have for today. I'll just copy this code from my Visual Studio and then back to the Python ideally, and I'll just paste this code. So I want someone else to explain this particular code, this particular line, without actually executing the code. Just explain it without executing that code.
So you have assigned, you said x is equal to 3. You have assigned 3 to x, and then you also assign 3 to 4 to y. And then you are making another input as z, an input variable to add the two values together as z.
Okay.
So when you get to the next Z, you are asking the next Z to pull the value of the last Z and add 1 to it.
Okay.
So it gives you a new value of Z. And
And
then
what's the value of that Z?
that value will be like 8.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
Then so you came back to say X is equal to Y,
Okay.
which means that 3 is equal to 4 and Y is equal to 5. So which means that X is equal to 5 from the last value of Y.
From the last value of Y. Okay.
Yes.
So
So now you are printing each of the variables
okay. So
as they added up all the way down.
Okay. If I heard you correctly, okay. Here you said that Y is 5, right?
Yes.
Okay. And this other line X is what?
X is equal to Y means X is equal to 4.
4. Okay. What is Z? Okay.
Z is equal to 8.
8. Okay.
Z up, the fourth Z is equal to 7.
Okay. All right. Okay. The first Z is equal to 7. Okay. No, I don't just need that one. I need the last Z and the last X and last Y. Okay. So we just take these 3. All right. So let's run this code and see if that's actually correct. All right. I'll go ahead and save this file. And okay, let's see. Okay. So X is 4, Y is 5, and Z is 8. Okay. That was really correct. All right. The person that explained that code was actually correct, really correct. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, I think someone is having difficulty in the eval of the previous class. Okay. Oh, just take my 5 minutes to explain that, okay? So what I said in the last class, I said that the eval function enables us to get input from the user, but this type of inputs we get will be an integer, like a number. Okay. So if I say something like let's just say x equals input, sorry, eval. Let's use the eval function there. And the input. And then we say enter your age. Enter your age. Okay. All right, and we just go ahead and print the x, okay? All right, I just save this. All right. And let me just oh, sorry, let me copy that, and I'm going to write it. Okay, so I'll write one with the eval function and one without the eval function. Okay, so you can see there. I call this one x1. Let's call this one x1, and let's call that one x2. Then we print x1, and then we print x2. Okay. Let's go ahead and run this code and see, huh? Okay, enter like 30 is 30 in the last class. Okay, I'll just enter the 30 other one. Okay, let's say 50 in this other one. And okay, I can't really. So all right. Yeah, the same. Yeah, is the same. Okay, see what happened here. Okay, this first one, the 30 is actually an integer. If you do, there's a function in Python that it's known as type of. Okay, it's not as type of. Okay, all right. So this first line here, this number is actually an integer number, but this last one here is a string number. Okay, like sorry, it's a string value. Sorry. Okay, so that's the difference between eval and input. And you also asked if you can use int. Yes, you can use int, but I didn't want to bring that in yet, or probably in the future lessons I'll bring that in. Okay, but it will work. Int will work as well. So I'll just put int there, and it does the same thing. It's just
Sorry, I didn't understand your explanation for eval and this second one.
okay. The eval. I said the eval. Okay. The eval. Sorry. Okay, let me see. Okay, let me. All right, let me just do something like this. Right. Probably you understand it this way. Let's do something like this. Let's add x1 and x2. Okay. Both of them are without the eval. Okay. See what pattern would do. Let's say I use 30 and then I use 50. See, Python doesn't actually add, it concatenates them. That is, it means that Python sees this input here has strings, not has actual numbers. Okay. So now what eval does is that it allows Python to actually see this input as a number, not as string. So when we calculate, so now when we carry out this calculation, it will get the desired result. So we get like 80 as the result. Okay. Understood now? Is it understood now?
Yeah, somehow.
No,
So in the first case, he multiplied, right?
Yeah, no, the first.
No, he joined the two numbers together.
Yeah, he joined them. That join is called concatenation. It joined them.
Concatenation.
Concatenate. Let me type that out for you and you see. It is the first case is concatenation. It concatenates both of them. Okay. Actually, it joins two strings together. It doesn't actually do the actual solving. Okay, so that's the difference. Okay, understood, right? So,
yeah.
Okay, that's for the previous class. So in today's lesson, hope my voice is loud now, right? You guys can okay. Okay. So in today's lesson, we'll be talking about conditionals and Booleans. Okay. And by this, what we'll be covering throughout the class: Booleans, if-else statement, conditional operator, order of operation, common mistakes, and elif statements. So, Booleans. Okay. So, what are Booleans in Python? Okay. So they are built-in data types provided by Python, which represents one of the two values, that is true or false. So it is generally used to represent the truth value of expressions. Okay. So Booleans are they are data types in Python. What it does is it has two values, true or false. So what it actually does is it evaluates expressions and then return the result as either true or false. Okay, so if we look at this expression here, okay, this double equal to means equality, means is 1 and 1 are they the same. Okay, so in Boolean it will return true because they are the same. Okay, so here now I say is 2 less than 1. 2 is not less than 1, so it return false. Okay, That's just what Boolean does. Okay, it validates expressions and then return true or false as the result. Okay, so now Python has the bool function. Like you can actually pass in this expression and it will validate them and then send back true or false as the output. Okay, so and we just take few examples so we can get a full understanding of what I'm trying to say. Okay, so this is Python. Okay, let me take that up. Sorry. So bool is a function in Python. By default, that's its keyword bool. So what this thing does, it takes arguments, it takes expression, okay, and then return true or false. Okay. So what we will do here, we will say, we say is 1 equals 1. What that statement means there is 1 equals to 1. That's what it means. Don't worry, we talk about this is in the lesson. Okay, this double equals to, okay. So now what Python will do here, we will validate this expression and return true or false. So if I run this program and see what it, sorry. All right, give me a few minutes, okay? Okay, so I'll give me a few minutes, let me. Oh yeah. Okay. So what you want to do actually, because the reason why this is not running is because it's not actually displaying on the screen. Okay. So what we want to do is want to put this inside a print function. Okay. So that we can actually see the results of that expression. Okay. You see, okay. It's not showing now. Okay. What Python did there, it evaluates this expression and return true as a function, like as an output, sorry. So if had it been we have something like this, okay, that says is 1 equals to 6. Okay, by default, this should be false because it's not true. Oh, sorry. It's not true. So if you run this, we should get false. So that's basically what Python Boolean does. It evaluates expression and then return true or false as a result. Hope that was clear, right?
Sorry, please. Is the Boolean function only for like numerical values, only for integers?
No. Okay. Let's try doing for strings as well. Okay. So okay, let's assume there is a variable here called language. This language equals Python. Okay. So, okay, what we want to check is we want to check if this language is equals to Python. If it's true or false, right? So what we will do here, we will say language, that variable there, equals Python as a string. Remember, anything outside a string is considered as a variable in Python. Okay, so if we run this, if we execute this file, it should turn true as input. Okay, sorry, as output. Sorry. So it could be something else. Okay, it could be something like let's say a number with a string. Okay, so let's run this and see. It's a false, okay. It could be another word. It could be boy. Let's use boy. Okay, let's not run as this. We save this, and then we run it, and it's a false. Okay. I believe that was clear, right? Okay. Someone is asking what case can the bool be applied? Okay. Let's say let's come to like real world example. Let's say in a website, you've signed up and you want to log in. Okay, so now once you key in your username and your password, so from what the code does, okay, behind that server, the username will be taken from the form and matches with the database. Okay, so if both are the same, okay, it's returned true, and same with your username and your password. Okay, and then if both are true, then it can now return true. Okay, that's like a typical example where you can use this bool. Okay, as well as if statement as well. Okay, the if statement itself, actually what it does, it executes a particular code if the condition is true. Okay, so all right, so I believe that was answered. Okay, so I hope the bool is understood, right? Okay, so the if else statement. Okay, the if else statement. An if else statement in Python evaluates whether an expression, that's a condition, is true or false. Now, if that condition is true, the if block will execute. If that condition is not true, the else block will execute. Okay, so well, this is the structure of an if else statement. Okay, so this is how you write your if else statement. We will do that in a bit. Okay, so now the structure goes like the if and then condition and then colon. Okay, then notice the indentation. Okay, there's an indentation here. Okay, but Python would do this automatically for you. It will indent this for you. So any block of code under this if block, okay, any block of code under here will get executed if this condition here is true. Okay, so if this condition here isn't true, Python will automatically skip here and then come to the else block and then execute this other block of code. Okay, so we will write few code and then we'll understand that much better. Okay, so but before we write the few code, we have to look at conditional operators. Actually, Python, there's no semicolon in the syntax. That's just this. That's the syntax.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello?
Okay. Yeah.
Please, boss, please, just if the thing is too fast. Please, can
Okay,
you
too
just
fast.
give us the theoretical explanation of the Boolean?
Okay, the
And
Boolean.
if again, yeah, just give us the theoretical
Okay.
explanation.
Okay.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
understand.
All right. All
Understand
right.
this thing.
Sorry. Okay. Let's go back to Boolean. Okay. So, all right. See, Boolean has a switch. Okay. A off and on switch. Okay. If it's not off, then it's on. And if it's not on, then it's off. Okay. If you notice, a switch cannot stay in between. Okay. It's either off or it's on. So That's exactly how this Boolean works. Okay, it's a two-way it's a two-way condition. It's either true or false. So when I mean that by it evaluates expressions, okay, I mean expressions can be conditions. Okay, let's say for instance, let's use a club. Okay, say okay that someone is going for a club. Okay, so and the requirements to go inside the club is for you to be above 18 years. Okay, so once you get there and you're asked how old are you, so probably anything you mention below 18 years, you will kick out of the, like you won't be you won't be allowed in the club. So anything from 18 years and above, you cannot get into the club. Okay, so that's just how this Boolean work. Okay, when it evaluates an expression, it returns either to it returns either true or false as an input. Okay, sorry, as an output. Probably let me just write another code and we will understand this thing. Okay, let me see. Boolean, what it does. Okay, someone is annotating on here. Okay, what Boolean does, okay, is it tries to compare. Okay, like it questions. Okay, let me put that. It questions, is this thing the same? Yes, true or false? Okay, that's just what Boolean does. Is this thing the same? Okay, let's say we have okay, let's just use, let's do like a password. Okay, let's see, we have password. Okay, that's it, with 1 2 3 4 5 as the password. Okay, and then look, let's use the input function here again. Okay, so now you want to check password. Okay, and this password will be entered by the user. The password will be inputted by the user. So what we can do is, since this password is actually a number, not a string, there's no quotation around these numbers here. Okay, so now what we can use eval there, and then we can say input, and then we can now say enter your password. Okay, enter your password. And then
yeah, check the first statement you made. The password removed. Exactly.
Okay, so now what you want to, okay, let me execute this code. Okay, it's not really to do anything much. You just ask for your password and you can put any random numbers. Okay, and then that's it. So what you want to check now is you want to use bool to check if this password, okay, if the check password, okay, is true. That is it at the same? Okay, so now remember that in Python, double equals to is different from a single equality sign. The first one, okay, what it does, it compares. Okay, that's what the first one does. And then the second and when the second one does what it's assign. Okay, that's why here, okay, what we are doing, if this first line here is we are assigning 1 2 3 4 5 to password. Okay, but what we want to do here now is we don't want to assign. Okay, we want to compare. Okay, so that's what bool does. Okay, so we want to print when we okay, let me say bool, that's a Python function that takes in expression. Okay, so the expression that we are going to put here is to check, is to compare if the check password is the same as this password. Okay, so now what we want to do is check password equals comparison sign. Okay, equals password. What is it? Okay, check password equals password. Okay, that's what this line will do. Okay, so now we want to print this result. Okay, okay? Let's assign this as well again to something else. Let's assign this to, let me say, x. Okay, let's assign that function to x. Okay, now we want to what is
To print the
the
result.
output here. Okay, now so now we want to check after this thing has checked what is its value. So now okay, so now if we run this function and then we do like random numbers, okay, and then we check, see we get false. Okay, what happened here was that let me bring it down. Okay, that Python has got, in the last class I said that it's go through this line and these codes one by one. Okay, so it has checked this first line, the password, and say 1 2 3 4 5. Now 1 2 3 4 5 has been assigned to password, and then it gets to the second line, and now this second line now requires an input from the user. Okay, and that input will be assigned to check password. Hope you guys are following, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now it gets to the third line. Okay, now this is the this is bool function. It's a function. So there are codes behind this function, but it's not a problem. A problem is to actually use it. Okay, like use this function. So now what this function does, it takes in arguments, and these arguments can be expressions. Okay, anything. Okay, and then what it does is that it evaluates these things and can then return if it's actually true. Like if it's true that what we have just compared is true, okay, or false. Okay, then it now save that result to the variable x, and then out here has false. Okay, so now why we can't see these 4 lines on this screen here is because we have actually just 2 things that can be shown the screen. That's the check password line and the print x line. Okay, so now if let's rerun this code, okay, and actually put the 1 2 3 4 5 and see what happens. Okay, so now I put 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, and enter, and now we have true. Okay, so now Python has now done what again? It has now went through the first line and now saw 1 2 3 4 5 assigned to password. Now went on to the second line, now gets this input from the user, now went on to the third line and use this bool function to compare is the check password, is this password that we just got from the user equals the password that's already there in the program. If it's true, save it to x. If it's false, save it to x. Okay, that's what that bool does. It returns true or false as its output. Okay, I hope the bool is understood now, right?
Yeah.
Please, I have a question.
Okay, so what's the question?
If we don't actually put the input inside an eval, what would be the result? Like, can we just try it, please?
Okay, fine. Let's try and see. Okay, actually, nice suggestion. Okay, let's move this last bracket here. Right. So let's see what we have. Okay.
No, remove the second.
The bracket.
Brackets.
The second bracket.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's run this and see. So, and I say 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, then we get false. Okay, so now, like I said earlier, okay, if you notice this password, they're not in strings. Okay, so what Python sees this password as an integer. Okay, so the ones we get here now, Python sees them as string. That's a different data type. Okay, so they are not the same. Okay, but they're actually 1 2 3 4 5. But 1 2 3 4 5 has strings. Not 1 2 3 4 5 has integers. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So what we can actually do now is if we come here and add
a quote.
Oh yeah. Okay. And run this again. We will have that as true now. Okay.
Okay.
I believe that's understood now, right?
So a regular integer value will not be recognized by using the input.
Yes.
Until you
just
put it,
using,
you put a quote.
yeah.
Is there no way to accept like general form of data or something? Because considering passwords that will have letters and alphabets and other signs.
Okay, yeah. Okay, okay.
Now,
In my
yes, so in that case, you still have to put it under a quote.
in my own suggestion, okay, I won't actually even like I will make this password to be a string because I know password some people can mix it, okay. So since it's mixed, I will choose string for password, okay.
Okay.
So if you're building any project that requires password, I would say that you use strings because since it will be mixed, okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Is the book understood now?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, but normally it's understood like this. When you're not going to programming, that there's problem.
Don't worry.
How do you apply it to it? So what would be the line of, how would the program be that at this stage now is bool that I will now use? So you know how to
see,
bring it to the program is a matter.
Okay. When we get into the if statement, probably you will need a bool in one way or the other, but when we get to if statement, you may not actually need this bool again because why I brought this bool in so that we can actually understand how the if else statement works, okay? So maybe when we get to the if else statement, you understand this bool well, okay?
Excuse me, please. I just want to verify something. You said we can use this bool while authenticating.
Yes, we're authenticating, but it will really like it. Okay, how should I say it? Okay, you can use the idea of bool while authenticating. Okay, you can't actually use bool to authenticate. Okay, so what's needed is just the idea. Okay, so now what you want to check is what I'm checking, are they true? Like is there a match? Okay, so okay, but in a small program like this, you can use bool. Okay, but when you're building, let me say, a more advanced program, okay, because later in this course you dive into web development, okay, and probably
Of course.
you see how to validate forms, okay, and you understand. So the main aim here for you to just get the idea of how the book works, okay.
Okay.
All right. So that for the book, okay, and we now go to the if else statement, okay. So like I said, this whole block here, okay, what it does is it evaluates conditions, bunch of conditions, okay. Now the condition in the if block will only get executed. Sorry, the block of code in the if block, this block of code here will only get executed if this condition is true, okay. Now this other one now the block of code in the else block will only get executed if this condition does not hold, then Python will automatically jump to the else block and then execute this code, okay. So this is the this is the syntax, the structure of if else statements in Python. So what you're gonna do is to take note of this structure, how it looks like, okay. So what we have is if and then condition. What condition are you passing to the program? Okay. Then what command should be executed if this condition is true? Okay. Now the else now is what command should be executed if the first condition does not hold. Okay. So probably if you look at it very well, you can see like the bool kind of format there. Okay. So now what the bool now will just validate here and return true or false. If it's true, it executes this block of code here, okay. Then if it's false, it execute this block of code, okay. But when we get to the code writing, you will understand better and how to structure it. Okay, so before we get the I wanted to take a look at some conditional operators. So, in condition, like what and what do we use to compare things in Python? Okay, so and we have the greater than, okay, and this is a symbol, okay. We have the less than, we have the greater than or equals to, we have the less than or equals to. Then here the double equal sign, okay, that was saying about, or they're talking about, okay, what this does is are both sides, are they equal, okay? Okay, and this other one that's here is, are they not
equals to.
So probably in an expression, okay, this is how we want to use them. If x equals, if x 3, if x less than 3, if x greater than or equals to 3, and so on and so forth. Okay, and this is what they mean, okay, in the description. All right. So apart from that, there are other operational conditional operators. This typo error here, sorry. There are other conditional operators. There are other conditional operators, okay, used to construct more complicated conditions, which add an, or, and not, okay. So, well, the way these three works, they are different, okay. So now, the way and works, okay.
In conditional, you have a 0 behind.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So now, how the and, or, and not works, okay, is different from how, it's kind of different, okay, from how this greater than, less than, and rest of them works, okay. So now what this one does is it takes two conditions, okay, two separate conditions, and merge them, and now come in between. Now what and does is it compares the two conditions, okay, if they are both true. And if they are both true, then the result is true. I don't know if you understand what I meant, okay? What the AND condition does is that it takes two conditions, two separate conditions. Let's say, for instance, let's use if x is greater than 3, and, okay, and now comes in now, x is less than or equals to, let's say 5, okay, and x happens to be 1, okay, the result of that would be false, okay, because sorry, I didn't get you. What did you say? Okay, so what I'm doing is that it takes two conditions and evaluates them, and both conditions must be true so that its results can be true. If any of these conditions happens to be false, the entire block is false, okay. Now the or condition, it does the same thing, okay. It takes two conditions, okay, but the or condition, it requires just one condition to be true, okay, and then the result will be true. And then the not operator, what it does is that it negates whatever condition given to it, okay. So okay, let's just write some few code and we'll understand how this works, okay, and we'll understand how this works.
Can I ask, please?
Yeah, what's the question?
There is no single equal to. All we have is this double equal to, right?
Yes, there's no single equal to when doing comparison. Okay, I said earlier that the single equal to is used for assignment. Okay, but when it comes to comparing conditions, okay, we use double equals to, which means equals, like, are they equal? Okay, that's what it means. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay. All right, so let's write few codes, okay, and see how this thing works, okay. So what we do, we just copy this. We'll just copy this structure here, okay, and bring it over to the IDL, sorry, of Python. And then we paste this here. Okay, right. So, okay, this is the structure, okay, of if-else condition. It says if condition, then block of code to execute, else block of code to execute, okay. So whether if there, why the if there is not changing color, which it should by default, is because Python commands or their reserved words should always start with lowercase, like small letter, okay. So if you change that if to a small I, and okay, that's it. So probably you'll be thinking, what kind of condition or are you to test it, okay? You can test for any condition. You can test for anything. Okay, let's use the club as an instance, the club that I meant earlier, okay? And I said, okay, H should be equals to, let's say 10 for now, okay? So now, what I want to test here, I want a scenario, okay, that if H is greater than 18, greater than or equals to 18, I want to execute a certain block of code. Now, if that H does not meet that condition, I want to execute another block of code, okay? So I'll just write the condition, okay, for that particular problem. So what I want to do is, I want to do H, and then I use one of the operator here in this slide here, okay. I use one of the operator here. So now what I want to do is to check if someone is greater than or equals to a certain age, okay. So I'll be going with this operator here, okay. I'll be going with that operator there. So now is age, if age is greater than or equals to 18, okay, what I want to do is print you are eligible. You are eligible, okay. And then, so let's say someone comes in and then this age, like this condition does not hold. That is, the age is below 18, okay. I want this other line of code to execute, okay, which is print, okay, you are not eligible, okay. All right. So if you run this line of code, okay, if you run this line of code, we will probably get what this code is trying to do here, okay. So let's execute this code, okay. Oh, sorry about that, okay. What just happened there was that the age was there already, okay. So what I don't want this age to be like, I want the user to input this age, okay. So I don't want to initialize this age, okay. I want this age to be inputted by the user, okay. So probably I'll just do age equals input eval, okay, to get the actual integer, okay. Then we say input, and then we say enter your age, and then we add place for people that are actually in place, okay. Okay. All right, so let's run this code and see, yeah. So it now says enter your age, okay. Let's say I input 5 here as my age, okay, and I click enter. It tells me you're not eligible, okay. So what actually happened there was Python, like I said, runs this code line by line, okay. So at this first line, it gets my input and save it to the variable age. And then what it does is it now compares this age, okay, using this operator here, the greater than or equals to operator. And now, okay, so let me run that again, okay. So now it gets my input and then save it to age, okay, and then compares this age with the 18. So what it does here was it now gives a certain condition that says if age is greater than or equals to 18, which means from 18 years and above, tell the user you are eligible, okay? Then if this condition does not hold, okay? So what do you think might make this condition not to hold, okay? What do you think might make this condition not to hold?
When you are not up to the age.
Okay, okay. So that means your age is from 17 years and below, okay? Then if this condition does not hold, this when the else block comes in. Okay, the else block comes in, okay, when no condition holds, okay? Okay, that's when the else block executes, okay? So that's why we now have here, we're not eligible. So what Python did with that? When you run this condition here, like you run a bool here, okay? You run a bool here, and the bool now return false, okay? Now, the if block does not execute if the condition is false, okay? So now what it does is it will skip to the else block, okay? And that is what the else does, okay? The else executes when no other condition holds, okay? That's just what it does, okay? Okay, probably let's do something like this, okay? Let's just say you're supposed to have condition there, right? Right?
Yes.
Okay, so now what I said was that condition must be true before this block of code here runs, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and this other block of code must is when the condition does not hold, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's just make this thing easy, okay? So now let's just say this condition is true. Okay, let's make it a must that condition is true. So what we can do there is to put in a bool value there, true. Okay, that will make this condition automatically to be true. Okay, are you there? Okay.
Yes.
So now, okay.
I quite understand.
Okay, so now when I put in the 5 again, okay, let's.
Last one too.
Sorry, what did you say?
I don't quite understand.
Yeah, same here too.
Sorry, I can't. Two people are talking at the center. I can't really get you. One person at a time, please. Where don't you understand?
Okay, where you put that true, if true, I don't understand that part.
Okay, that's clear, right? Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Okay. So what I meant was, okay, I meant that I said that this whole block of code here, okay, will execute if the condition we give in the if block is true, okay? If this condition there is true, okay? You understand to that point?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, now. So now, we want that place to be true, okay? Like we want that place to be true, okay? Okay. See what we do here. Okay? Let us do let's do like this. Please mute yourself for a few minutes, please. Mute yourself. So I'm echoing. Please. Okay. Thank you. All right. So now, okay. So let's just repeat. Let's bring that bool back. Okay. Let's bring in the bool again back. Okay. So we have x and we have bool. The bool function. Okay. we all know that this bool function takes in expressions and evaluates if it's true or false. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so now, what you want to check? You want to see if age, okay, is greater than or equals to 18. Okay. That's what we want to check. Okay. So without executing this line of code, what do you think will be the response here? That line of code there.
Yeah. The response will be that if you enter age that is not now equal to 18, it's going to give you a false.
Okay.
Because you have specified to X that the age is greater or equal to 18.
Okay.
So if you put an age that is 10,
okay,
your value is going to come as false.
Okay. All right. That's very correct. Okay. So to actually see if that is correct, okay, we want to print that the value of X. Okay. You want to print that value of X. Okay. And for the meantime, let us comment this out for the meantime. Okay. We just cut this out for the meantime. I'll bring it back. Okay. So let's run this code and let's see what happens. So and I enter 5 again. What do we have? We have false, right? So let's run the code and try something above 18. Okay. Let's enter 30. What do we have there? True, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's responding to the condition.
Okay, yeah. That's essential, right? So now that's basically what if statement does. Okay. If statement what if statement does, it's just assume this whole place, okay, is here. Okay, that's what it does. Okay, that's the logic that's going on behind.
Correct.
Okay, that logic. Okay, so now, like I said, this if block executes when this thing is true. Okay, so now when this bool carry out this comparison and then returns the value. Okay, if that value is true, it will execute this line of code. Okay, if the value is false, it will jump to the other line of code. Okay, so that's basically what is happening here. Okay, it's basically the same thing. So what I'm going to do is I'll take out this bool. Okay, I'll take out this bool here. Okay, all right. So let's run this code and see. Let's run this code and see what happens.
Remove the first side.
Okay, let me bring it down a little bit. Okay, so now I'll put 5 again. Okay, now what's happening here? Okay, we have false already. Okay, because after the second line, okay,
yeah,
it's evaluated to true or false, right?
Yes.
So now age is it greater than or equals to 18? Is 5 greater than or equals to 18? True or false, right?
Yes, false.
False, all right? Okay, so now what I said here in the if block, that it only execute this function, this condition, if it's true, right?
Yes.
Okay, so currently that condition is not true. That condition is false, right?
Yes.
So now the else block will do what? Will not execute because that condition is false. Okay.
Okay.
So it's understood, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that's good. So I can take this off. For now. Okay. So let's run. Let's run couple. Let's write like few more programs. Okay, with this if condition. Okay. All right. So let's write a code for password. Okay. So now we want a program that checks for users' password, okay, and tells them if that password match. Okay. So let's assume this password to be our database, okay? Let's assume the password to be our database that has a password of, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? And QWERTY, that's the first 6 letters on your keyboard, okay? So let's assume that's someone's password, okay? So now we want to write an if else statement, like an if else block to this if it's correct or not correct, okay?
Yeah.
All right. So first of all, what do we do? Okay, we have to remember that structure again. That it is if, okay, condition.
Okay.
Then colon. Don't forget the colon, okay? Or once you add that colon, automatically Python will indent for you, okay? And then
Okay.
block of code to be executed. Okay. Then you want the else as well, okay? Now notice that when you're writing the else, okay, you have to move out from the if block, okay? Because currently now I'm seeing the if block, okay? So
Yeah.
I want to move up from that if block and go back and go back here, okay?
Okay.
And have else. No, the else does not need condition, okay?
Yeah.
The else does not need condition because it will automatically execute when the if condition does not hold, okay?
Okay.
Now another block of code here to block of code to execute. Okay, to be executed. Okay. So now, how are you going to? Okay, so now we have that structure now being laid out. Okay, now we want to get the password from the users. So we can do that using our input function. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, so now we want to say user password. Okay. Password. Okay. Now we want the user to input this password. Okay. Since it's a password, I won't actually specify if it should be an integer or strings.
Okay.
Since password can be mixed. Okay. So I'll just stick the input alone. So, and I want to tell you that please, for the user that like this, okay, to input their password. Okay. Okay. You have it. Okay. Oh, sorry, double quotation here. Okay. All right. So now we want this condition.
Why don't you say, please
please enter your password.
Oh, sorry, enter.
Please enter your password. Simple.
Please enter your password. Okay. Let's
password.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you for yes.
Sorry. Okay. All right. So now remember that Python run this code line by line. Okay. And at this first line now, Python is aware, okay, that there's a variable called password and it holds this certain value. Okay. So now it goes to the second line, this line here, and now gets whatever the user wants to input here and then save it to user password as a new variable. Okay.
Okay.
So now the next line now is the if condition. Okay. So now what are we checking for now? Okay. What should we check for? What do you guys think we are going to check for there? Okay. What are we comparing?
If password is equal to 1, 2, 3 for QWERTY.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you have another solution?
If password is equal to user password, so use the double password.
No, it can't be user password. If password is equal
to user password.
All right. Okay. Can we just say this one by one? Okay, please. All right. So what are we checking?
These numbers that we have,
okay.
can we
password
count?
is equal to password?
If what?
User password is equal to password.
Exactly.
If user password.
Let me ask you, This
Okay.
password now is about the both the digits and the letters.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
about 12, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Can we do something in the perspective of 12? Say maybe
Like,
if the password is 12,
yes.
if it
Yes.
is
We
like
can.
12,
We can.
yeah,
Okay. Okay. So what we will do, that works with strings. Okay. But we haven't really gotten to string
yes,
yet. Okay?
strings, yes.
Okay. So probably in the future lessons when we are in string, we will bring in that condition where it checks both the length of the password and if they are the same. So now we are not in string. Okay. So we just check it if they are the same. Okay.
Hello, hi. Can I try?
Oh yeah, try.
Okay, so what is going to happen is once you put in your password, then we
Okay.
come to the in and we have the bracket, and we're going to do a comparison. That is, your password equals password, then close to compare it to see if it matches.
Okay. 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 That's very correct. Okay. That's very correct. Okay. So that's what we are going to check for. Okay. We are going to check for. You check for. Okay. So now, since the password is there already, so we just say password. Say if password, okay, is equals double sign, single sign mean assignment. If we do this, understand? If we do this, Python will give us an error. So, okay, if we do this, Python will give us an error. Okay, because what this statement here means. Okay, what this statement here means is whatever value is there in the user password, assign it to password. Okay, but that's not what we want to do. We want to check if they're the same. So use the double equal sign. Okay. So now what are we telling? Okay, what block of code will be executed if this condition holds? Okay. We want to tell the user that the password is correct. Okay, it's correct. Okay, it's correct. Correct. Okay. All right. So now, what if
Yes.
this condition does not hold? What do we want to tell?
Yes, print password is wrong.
Okay. In the else block. Okay.
Yes.
In the else block. Okay. Password is incorrect. Okay. So let's execute this code and see. So now I enter my password. I say, and I assume I do something like 1, 2, let me say like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Say password incorrect because it is actually run this again with the correct password this time around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with query. Password is correct. Okay. So that's basically what the if what the if else block does. Okay. So that's just it for if and else statement. Okay. So just know the structure. If condition with colon. Okay. Now block of code to be this. It can't just be one code. Okay. What you can do is we can actually say we can do other things like you can print and other stuff. Okay. We can say welcome back. Okay. Welcome back. Okay.
Hello,
Okay.
Basti.
Yes, sir.
Please, a situation whereby you want a certain format for the password. Maybe you want the first letter to be capital letter, and you want small letter, and
Okay.
also you want a number and a special character in the password.
Okay.
How can we
All right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it is very possible to do that. Okay, but I don't know if you can hold that question till we get to a string, okay, to string as a topic. Then when we get to a string, there's what we call slice, okay, what it does, like we can actually dissect the entire password and to whatever format we want it, okay. Okay, but for now, we haven't gotten to a string, okay. So bringing string here now, okay, might actually cause confusion to others. Okay? If you can remember this question, okay, when we are in the string class, you bring it up again and okay, and we solve it, okay, and we just do that. Okay.
So let me ask you, the if condition, assuming you use one sign of equality, what would have happened?
You have an error there because
what you said. Why would there be an error?
Because what this thing here means to Python, it means it's the same thing that is happening here, okay? It means whatever value is on the right hand side, okay, assign it to the variable on the left hand side, okay? So now you're telling Python if the user password is being assigned to the password, it doesn't really make sense, okay? And Python.
Okay, so it's yeah, I get you now. I get you. It's a you already give the instruction at the first place.
Yeah.
You are repeating it by this if condition now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I get you now.
So what we should know is that question.
Great. Yeah, I get you.
Okay. So now what we should know is that
I have a question.
What's the question?
Okay, someone asked a question earlier about the arrangement of the password and all that. And you said the person should bring a question back when we're doing strings, right?
Yeah.
What I'm thinking of is shouldn't Python recognize whatever arrangement I give? For instance, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 QWERTY. If I had put the Q in capital letter.
Okay. Is that what you meant?
Isn't it case sensitive?
Okay. If that was what you meant, okay. If that was what you meant, it is case sensitive, okay. If you change, if at all someone changes right.
Hello?
Is that what? Yeah.
Hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay.
What it means is that, like normal way, maybe if you are entering into a certain website now,
okay,
the website will out a password format for you, telling you that that must be a capital letter. Like there must be, no matter how where the capital letter is, that there must be a social character, there must be a number.
Okay.
This guy, the type basic. So the times I say don't capital letter. The first time this morning.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I think he's talking about the validation. The validation aspect.
I understand the question. Okay. Yes, that question. Okay, if that was the question, please you have to bring it back when we are doing string. Okay, understand the question that which said that there must be one capital letter, one number, and then a special character. I understand the question. Okay. But what the other guy was trying to say was that if this value here is actually case sensitive, in the sense that if we run this program, okay, let's say we run this program. Okay, let's save it and run it again. Okay, then the password here, okay, is I don't know what on my mouse. The password here is 1345 and QWERTY in small letter. Okay, so what he meant was, what if someone does something like this? Okay, sorry, I don't know why it's not that. Let's kill it and run it again. Okay, let me see this. Okay, and so here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then QWERTY, but then this Y is now in caps lock. Okay, if that is actually the same, well, that is not the same. Okay, because it is same thing. It is case. So if you run this should say password not.
Okay, password incorrect. Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Okay, so that's it for if else statements. I don't know if is there any other question before we move
on. Let's move on.
Okay. Let's assume we all understand. So there's what we call order of operation. Okay. Okay. Oh, we actually did for okay. Let's write a few program we and okay. Let's write another program we and okay. So what I said once that the way the and condition works, okay, is both condition must be true, okay. So I just write a simple program, okay. I'll write a simple program. Yeah. Let's just say num as number, okay, is equals to 3, okay. Num and number equals to 3, okay. So let's bring on the if and then the condition, remember, and then the condition and then the block of code to be executed. Block of code and then the else with the block of code to be executed. Okay. So now the way the and works, okay, like I said, okay, let me bring back the Boolean, okay. Then bring back that Boolean again and do a little illustration. I say x equals bool, okay. So now you want to check for something, okay. You want to check for something. Let's say you want if number, that by the number, okay, is greater than, okay, 1, okay, and at the same time that same number again, okay, should be less than 10, okay. Okay, so let me just cut this out first and then okay. So let's print this x. Let's see what happens, okay, and then I'll explain to you what just happened. Okay. So what this condition here means, what is and, like I said, the way the and works, okay, both condition, that is condition 1, okay, and condition 2, this other side, okay, must be true, okay, before this entire condition becomes true, okay. Now if I run this, I should get true, okay. It should be have true there because 3 is actually greater than 1, right? At the same time, 3 is less than 10, okay?
Yeah.
That's how the AND condition works. So if I thought this condition, one of these condition false, like turns false, Python wouldn't even bother to check the other condition. It will just pass, okay? It will just give you false, okay? Because that's how the AND works.
Okay.
So let's say that that if number must be greater than 5, okay, and then less than 10, okay. I know that 3 is not greater than 5, okay. 3 is less than 5. So this condition here is false, okay. But here is true because 5 is still less than 10, okay. But Python will say false because one of that condition is now false. Okay. Now you see, right? That's how the AND works, okay. That's how the AND condition works. So, okay. Let's see how the OR works. Let's see how the OR condition works. So we just change that to OR. Remember that this condition here gave us false, okay? But let's see what to do with the OR. Let's run this, okay? What it do with the OR is that it gives us true, okay? Why it gives us true? That
one of them is true, okay.
Why it gives us true that one of them is true? So that's how the OR condition works, okay? If either of the condition is true, okay, all this stuff will evaluate to be true, okay. So that's just it, okay. With the and then for the not, okay, the not actually it takes just one condition, okay. It takes just one condition. That doesn't take two conditions. So now, when you say something like, okay, not, let's say not 3, okay. Let's see what this thing does for us. Let's run this code and see something. Sorry. Okay, let's run this code and see what it happens. So now, what the not does, it inverses the result, okay? It's just like you say, okay, not a boy, okay? Not a boy. Actually, the actual value is boy, okay? And then I say not a boy. That means it is a girl, okay? So now, let's say the actual value is 3, okay? Well, let me just, okay, let's let me put num here, okay, not num. Let's see what happens there. Let's just use num. Let's use num instead of 3. Okay. So what it does is that it's for not gives us the result of the the opposite of a particular value, okay? That's if it's true or false, okay? Let's say now that's num, okay? So now num, that's true. Like if I say is that num, okay, that's true. But if I say is that not num, it means false, okay? I don't know if I all right, let me say something like let me say something like 5, okay, and see how this works. Let me say something like 5 and see how this works. Let's run this and see. It's still giving us false. It shouldn't be giving us false. It shouldn't be giving us false, okay? Let me give me a few minutes. Let me take that, okay? Okay, I'll give me a few minutes.
Is that not supposed to be true?
Yes, it's supposed to be true. Okay, y'all give me a few minutes. I'll get back to you now.
Okay.
Give me a few minutes. Let's see what the problem is.
I think that you made it num and num, so it is actually false. Like I think before you made it 3 and 3, but like you changing it to 5 is still the same thing, so it would say false. So
Okay.
that's
All right. I think okay. Don't worry. Okay. I've seen what I needed for. Okay. See what happened here. Now, what the not condition does, okay? It's what the not condition does. It is used, okay? It returns true if that it returns like the opposite of whatever whatever the result of it.
Opposite of, yeah.
Okay, yeah, it does the opposite, okay? It does actually return like, so let's say something like let's say not
no.
Let's say, okay, let's say not okay, we know that num, okay, let's use this in condition. Sorry. Num, okay, we know that that's 5, right? And 5 is less than 10, right? So we're right, we should get true there, right? But the not, what not does is it return the opposite of what that does. So we should have like false there, okay? So that was what it returns the opposite of the actual result, okay? So that we say that 5 num is greater than 10, okay? Num is greater than 10, which should be false. The not now negate it and give us something else. Okay, let's run this and see.
Yeah.
All right.
So it gives the opposite.
Yeah, it gives the opposite.
To the command.
Yeah,
to the condition.
Yeah, to the condition. It's negative and gives us the opposite. That's what it does. Okay. So, but probably you might think, okay, when or where can we actually apply it? Okay.
Yes. What's the relevance?
Okay. What the relevance? Okay. The relevance of it is okay. Let's see a real life example. Let's see a real life example. A real life example. Let's see. Okay, let me just think. Let's see.
Maybe when you are selecting ages of a class.
I won't actually say ages. Okay. Okay. I'll give me. I'll give me like a few minutes. I will give you a example of what you can use it for. Okay, I'll give you a few minutes. I'll tell you that, okay? I'll tell you what you can use it for. Just give me a few minutes.
Yeah, okay.
But you can't actually wait for that to come, okay? So you have to actually proceed.
I don't hope to write programs that have this kind of complication.
No, you will use it, okay? You use it eventually. Yeah, but before the class finishes, I'll tell you what or where you can use it. Okay.
That'll be interesting.
Okay, so now okay, so now order of operation, okay, just like in mathematics we have word mass, okay, that's the order of operation in word mass, okay. So but in Python, okay, here in Python we have order of operation between the and the or, okay. That's two and okay, and the or, okay. This and another and or, okay. So now and is more like multiplication, while or is more like addition. You know, in maths, multiplication comes before addition. So if let's assume we have something like this, and let's say like 3 plus 4 times 2. Okay, what okay, math, you actually have to do this first, right? Before adding the other one, right? Okay, that high. Okay, if I okay, let me keep this.
Except if it's in bracket, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's multiplication first.
Yeah. Okay.
Whether it's in bracket or not.
All right. Let's allow Python to do that for us. Okay. So, but I think it's multiplication first before
11.
So it should be, this should be 8 and then plus 3, 11. Let's see if you have 11 there.
So that's 14.
I'll be 14. 11. Okay, 11. Yeah, 11.
Okay.
So it's multiplication first before addition. The
Oh,
same
yes,
thing.
board mass.
There's the same thing here. It is actually and before or. Okay. So a typical example, okay, would be, let's say we have meal. Okay, we have meal has, let's see, we have a meal. Okay, that's, let's just say a sandwich. Okay, sandwich. Okay, is that how it's spelled?
Bro, so they call better food though.
Okay, and then we
you
have,
don't go on give me now.
and then we have amount. Okay, has 0. Okay, okay, let's see that. Okay, now and let's see that we want, remember the structure, right? If and condition. Okay, so now we want that if meal is equals to sandwich. Okay, sandwich. Okay, okay, or meal is equals to, let's say, or meal is equals to, let's say, rice. Okay, yeah, it's right there. Okay, and it's just an amount, okay, is greater than or equals to, so equals to 2. Okay, we want to print something like want to print okay, you can purchase any your chosen, you can purchase your chosen meal. Okay, with your choice of meal, well, anyhow. Okay, all right. So else, okay, if the connection does not hold, any of it does not hold, okay, we want something like amount too low. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so now let's see this. Okay, let's look at this whole if block. Okay, let's look at this whole if block, right? So now this or condition and this and condition, all right? Okay, so now I like, just like a board mass that I said, multiplication comes before addition or subtraction. Okay, now here and comes before or. Okay, so now what we have here, that what Python will do, okay? What Python will do here will be, it will first of all validate this one, okay? Okay, those two conditions there, right? Now, whatever the condition, yeah?
You don't mention the double equals to sign.
Oh, yeah, sorry. It's even this, if I'm on the call mistake. Oh, sorry. Thank you very much. Okay. So now, what Python will do, okay? It will validate this first condition, okay? Now, whatever the result say is, if it's true or false, okay? Now use that result and now validate with this other condition, okay? All right.
Okay.
So now, by right, this condition, like this, what we should have here, understand, should be you can purchase this meal. That's what we want to see, okay? But okay, so that's not what we should see, okay? But let's just run this and see what happens. Okay. And see which block actually executed. See, we had this, you can purchase your chosen meal, okay? But all right, we shouldn't have that. You know why? You know why this block should not execute by right, like by default, okay? This block should not execute. Do you know why?
No.
Because meal is not equal to rice.
Okay.
I've already used the AND condition.
Okay.
And that will be the first condition to be executed before the OR.
Now,
and if I can add too,
okay,
amount is 0, but here we're talking of greater than or equal to 2.
Exactly. So
I can also add.
Okay.
Maybe if one is mathematical part of analyzing it now,
right.
You say that when either is true, it's wrong, Sabi?
Yeah.
So looking at the expression now,
okay,
meal is sandwich. That's true.
Okay.
Meal is close to right, and that is false. Then also and is returning a false value.
Okay.
So false. So just assume that what you have in that first expression is 1, 0. That's what we have.
Yes.
So there is an existence of true. So that's why the print you can purchase sandwich.
Okay.
So
that
amount is returning true. Is going to give us S.
Okay. That's very true. Okay. That's very true. Okay. By rise, someone is talking. Okay. By right, this should tell us that our amount is too slow because of here. The amount is 0, but here we need this condition to hold. So for this condition to hold, this amount must be 2 and above, okay? But here amount is 0, okay? Now, what actually happened here was that I told you that before that and takes precedence before the or. So now what it did here was that it take these two conditions, okay? Meal equals to rice?
No.
False, okay? And is amount greater than 2? False as well. That's 2 false, okay? So now this whole block now gives us
0.
false. Okay? So this whole block now gives us false, okay? So now we now use that false and come here. We now come and check this other part that says is meal equals to sandwich? True. Okay. So now what we have now, we have true or the false that we got from here, okay? And remember, just need one side to be true and that stuff is true, okay? But that wasn't what we want, okay? So in situations like this, okay, what we do is in situations like this, what we do is that we need parentheses around the or condition, okay? So now we don't want the and to actually to take precedence, okay? What we want is that we want this first condition to execute first, okay? add this condition here, add the or condition with this other condition. Okay. 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 So let's run this again. Let's run this again, okay? And see what happens. Amount is now we are having what we should actually have, okay? Because what happened here that Python will first of all violate this whole block first, that's within this bracket, okay? And then before coming out to the end, okay? So now to have this other one, this amount has to be maybe like 5, okay? Something greater than 2. Okay, so when you run this, we should get you can purchase because the amount now is actually above 2. Okay, I believe that was understood, right? Okay, so that's it. So in other words, if you have conditions that may require you that require or and like being joined together, okay, what you should do is your or conditions, put them in brackets, okay, and let the and be. That's what you should do when you face such problems like this. You put your or conditions into parentheses. Okay. So all right. So these are possible common mistakes that we can do while trying to write the if-else block or conditions. Okay. So number one mistake is the operator for equality consists of 2 equal signs. But people, like I did it, okay, I think someone corrected me, okay, when I actually use one equality signs, okay? But when you are actually doing comparison, you use the double equality signs. So take note of that, okay? So when you're actually writing yours, you should use the correct sign. Out, sorry. So the second mistake is we use the and the or. Like, where do we use them? Like, there are conditions that we actually use them, and it doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't give us the desired output. Okay, like take these 2 conditions for the first, like these two codes here, these 2 if statements here. Which one is correct and which one is wrong? Is it the first one? The second one. Which one is correct and which one is wrong? Any idea?
The first one is correct.
I think both are correct too, because to me, x can be greater than 1 and at the same time less than 100.
Yeah, both of them will actually execute, okay, but it will give us very different. Okay, let's write this in a program. Let's see what happens. Okay, you see, both of them will actually execute, but give us something else, something that we never wanted. Okay, so I'll just copy this. So I'll copy both of them. Okay, let's come here. Let's paste that in. I'll cut this one for now. I'll bring it back. Okay, so now we have x. Okay, now what you want to do is, let's assume that let's actually declare that x. Remember that anything outside string is what again? Anything that is outside the string, what does Python sees it as a variable? So x9 is outside the string, so Python will see it as a variable. So you have to fix that up by probably we give this variable 5, okay, and then we want to print. You want to print, okay. You want to print the variable itself, the x itself, okay. The variable itself. Okay, so now let's run this and see. Okay, it gives us 5, right? It gives us 5 because okay, let's see something like this. This way we get, like this way we see the difference between both of them. Let's use 0 there, okay, and let's execute it and see. It's not actually executed because that whole block is for.
It will give us error.
It's not execute at all.
Condition is not true.
because this condition is not true, so it does not execute. Okay, so let's try the other one, okay, and see what happens. Okay, and let's give our x something like 5. Okay, sorry, x equals 5. Okay, and then we want to print x. Okay. Okay, I want to print x. Okay. All right, so let's run this and see what happens. It will actually run it to give us 5. To give us 5. Okay.
Is it not the same thing?
Okay. Yeah, it is. Now this is the actual truth behind this thing. But let's see 0. Okay. Let's see what happens.
0 is being wrong.
We can't use 0 because x is not.
It's executed. See that.
But why did it not execute the last time?
The other one was and. Okay. Now it's all.
Okay,
now,
this is
what we had in mind now.
Because x is less than 0 is less than 100, so it executes.
So now we have to be careful, okay, on where to use the or and where to use the and. Okay. So now, okay, so, because here now, if here is false, it will still execute. Okay, but okay, so now 0 is less than 1, which is false.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. The and requires both conditions to be true.
Yeah. Okay. So
that's not. Yeah. Okay, I see.
And so now 0 is less than 100, which is true. So this.
Yeah, which is correct.
So we have to be mindful of where we use our and our or statement. Okay, it's very tricky. I sent them very useful. Yeah, at the same time. So another one.
Please, before you go.
Okay.
Back to the other page, please.
This other page.
The calculation.
Okay.
Yeah, the Python page.
Okay.
If x is greater than 1, but x is 0, x is greater than 1 or x is less than 100. Okay.
Yeah, so it's less than 100 that is true.
I get it now. Thank you.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so the other mistake again that is this. Okay, is us doing something like this. Okay, so let's assume we are checking for grade. Okay, but now I'm asking like if grade is greater than or equals to 80 and less than or equals to 90. Okay, what Python will do? Python would give us an error. Okay, Python will give us an error. Let's say we remove other x here. That's x is greater than 1 or less than 100. Okay, it's actually readable like that. Okay, if x is less than 1 or less than 100, it makes sense when you read it. Okay, but when you actually execute this, Python will give you an error. Okay, invalid syntax. You see that invalid syntax. You know why? Because in Python we have to be explicit. You have to be very, very explicit. Okay, so what Python requires that x to be there. So if it's x is so whatever you are testing here, okay, it's the same thing you're using here. If you're testing for y should also be here. Okay.
Okay.
So that's it. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So that just few kind of okay. So here it says this will lead to a syntax error. We have to be explicit. So the correct statement is that now if you're not using if you're not testing for grade, that grade should be here as well. Okay. Now here we are testing that if grade is greater than 80 or equals to 80, grade also should be less than or equals to 90. Okay.
90. Okay.
We have to be explicit. Those are minor errors. Okay. So now let's assume that we have multiple conditions. Okay. Multiple conditions. Okay. This is the last topic for this lesson. The elif statement. Okay. It is the Python elif statement is short for else if. Okay. What it checks for multiple conditions. Okay. This is the structure of an else if statement. Okay. It must come after an if statement. Okay. You can actually start this statement with like from if. Okay. Like let me go to the Python. Okay. So now the elif statement. Okay. You can actually start that statement like this. Okay. Elif condition. Okay. And then go to execute. Okay. Go to execute. Okay. Okay, this elif must come after an if step and an if block. Okay. So now if you try, let's put in few conditions there and see what happens. Okay. To tell you invalid syntax. Okay, because Python doesn't really, let's see, x equals to 5. Okay. So you want to check, please mute yourself, please. So I want to check if x, okay, is equals to 5. Okay. And then we want to print the match. Okay, match. Let us say match. Okay. Right. So if you try to execute this, okay, you get invalid syntax. Okay. So now Python does not allow us to do that. Sorry. So now it has to come under an if block. Okay. But we can have multiple elif statements. Okay, but only one if statement. Okay. I don't know if that's understood. So we can have just one elif, like one if statement with multiple elif statements. Okay. Yes. Now let's just see how this thing works. Okay, then we try to understand what Python is actually doing. Okay, so I'll just leave that x there for now and replace this. Okay.
Hello.
So now,
Hello.
yeah, good evening.
Can I say something about the LU statement? Then we move on. Just
okay.
so that.
Okay. Okay.
Just like in grammar, we have else if. You see,
Yeah.
So when you can't just start a statement with else if.
Okay.
So you start with if let's say if my brother will buy food, he will take the food home. Else if he did not buy the food. If he buy the food, he might take it to church and eat it. Else if he buy the food, he might not eat it at all. Like that's how it works. So it's simple grammar.
Yeah, very simple. That's how it works. Okay, that's the correct illustration. Okay, what it does here is if a condition, okay, if the condition does not hold, we check for other conditions. If that one does not hold, we check for another one. But if all these conditions, if at the end of it all these conditions okay, does not hold, okay, that's when the else block will not execute. Okay. So okay, so now we're going to write a very simple program that's classify users based on their age. If let's say we will classify them to being an so I say let's say okay, how should I put it? Okay, I'm trying to put this. Okay, young, old, and older, I guess. Okay, let's just use that. Okay, young, old, older. Let's see. Let us see. Okay. So we classify this thing based on age, okay? And we don't want this age to be predefined, okay? We want users to actually input this age, okay? So what we want to use is we need our input statement again. But this one we need an eval, because since you are getting age, okay? Age is actually an integer, so we need our eval, okay? We need our input. Then input. And then enter your age. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So now here comes the condition. Okay. Here comes the condition. Okay. Once if x is greater than or equals to 18. Okay. First condition. All right. Now you want to check another condition. Okay. You want to check another condition that if x is greater than or equals to 30. Okay, let's say 30. Okay. Then we need another. Okay, we want to check for another one. Okay. Let's say if x is greater than or equals to, let's say that's 70, okay, as age, okay. Okay, so now we have to tell Python certain code to execute if any of these conditions holds, okay. But may look at this thing, may look at this condition, all these conditions here. I can see and we have a problem here, okay. We have a problem here. I don't know. Does anyone see that problem? Has anyone seen that problem?
Yes.
Okay, what do you think the
Because
problem?
if x is 19, x will be true for all the statements. So
yeah,
so be printed out. You have to use the and.
Okay, exactly. So that's why we now bring in the and. So we want this age to be from 18 years, and also this x, that age should not be less than or equals to 29 years. Okay, understood, right? Okay, and then we do the same thing for the rest of them. Bring in the and, but this one wants age to be less than or equals to 70. Then this one from 70 years and above, even if it's 1,000,000 years old, no problem. Okay, that code will hold. Okay, so now here now we want to print something like want to print something like, okay, let's say something like, okay, let's say you are above 18. Okay, 18 years.
I think problem on the second line.
Okay, what's the problem? This which line?
If x is less than or equals to 40 or equals to 70, sorry. I think it's supposed to be 69.
Oh, yeah, sorry, 69, sorry. Thank you for that. 69, okay. Then we want okay, forgive this other guy. Are you above 30? Okay. And the other one say that we are both 70. Okay. All right. Okay. So now, what do you think? What do you think will make the else block to execute?
If you are 18 or is more than, this person is less than 18. That's all.
Okay. If the age is more than 18,
it's less than 18.
Okay,
less than 18.
Okay. That's very correct. Okay, that's very correct. Okay. Okay, so let's see how this thing works. Okay, let's actually run this code and see. All right, so that I come here and I say like 2 is my age, and it says that's the else block executing. Okay, I've actually compared. I've actually gone through all this, and it doesn't hold, and it now execute the else clause. Okay, now let's do something like else, like let's say 60. Okay, and it says I am above 30 because that range was actually from 30 to 69. Okay, all right, so that's how the if and the elif work. Okay, so we can add multiple conditions, as many as we want. Okay, and we just play around with all these things, and that's it. Okay, so now even if we have used if here, like if, okay, so what's the difference between this and this? Okay, can someone tell me the difference between this and what we wrote earlier? Let me cut this one out for now. Okay, what is the difference between this and this? This is what we wrote earlier. Okay. What do you think will happen if we execute this code? Okay, let me tell you.
It sounds to me like the same thing.
Yeah, it will run, okay. If it do the same thing, okay. You have put 60, just tell you are above pattern. But we have to understand pattern as a programmer. Understand our application needs to be fast, okay. So now what this thing does is when it got the inputs from here, okay, that's 60, okay. It's what it does was that it checks here, it checks here, okay. It checked here, okay. And then when it gets here, the 60 was here, okay. The 60 was in this range, okay. And then it now executed, you are above 30. But it didn't stop there. It still checked here again, the 70 again. And you see, so what this one does is that it will actually check through all, okay. But the other one, what the other one does is, okay, what the elif does is okay. What the other control, why is not working? Oh. So what this one does, okay, is when it got this number from that 30, okay, it checks here, no match. Checks here, there was a match, okay. Once it sees this match, it has leave the entire if block. There's no point of checking it here again, and there's no point of doing everything here. So now we've probably saved about few seconds of running this other line of code, okay. So assuming we have like about 100 conditions, okay, and we're using if in the 100 conditions. So even if that condition is being checked in the first, like in the first one, okay, it will keep on checking, But when you use the if else block, okay, once the condition is true, like once that condition hold, okay, Python doesn't bother to check the other conditions again, okay. I don't know if you guys understand what I mean. Is that understood? Hello?
Hello, please say what you said.
Okay, I say what I said again.
Say it again, please.
Okay, I said again, okay. What I said was, okay, let's assume we have like hundreds of conditions. Okay, let's assume you want to check like 10 to 20 at a time, okay. So now I'm having multiple ifs here. I'm having multiple ifs condition here, okay. Well, let us say that this one is cool. Let us say that actually our I think I made a mistake here. Okay, let's say that our age is actually 18, okay, and it falls in the first condition, okay, 18 to 29, okay, it falls there. If we execute this thing, understand? If we execute this, okay, have you seen? It still went on to execute your age is too low. That's because Python actually checked all these lines, if, and this else, and went on executing all this line, okay. But our age falls among these the first one, okay. But so by right, okay, or by default, okay, Python should not bother to check it any longer, okay, because already this first condition has hold. But since you're using if, so Python will keep on checking it even after the condition has been met, okay. It still went on to check again if our age is among here as well, and still went on to execute these other lines of code, okay. So what I said that as a programmer, you wouldn't you want your application to be as fast as possible, okay. So you wouldn't want a situation where a condition has been met, but yet Python keeps checking other conditions, okay. It doesn't really make a lot of sense, okay. So that's why we use the if elif block, okay. I don't know if you understand what I meant. Where it's just on that if assuming that this one, okay, let's just run this code again and use 18, okay, and see you are above 18, and it stopped there, okay. The other one went ahead and executed this last line, that means that the other one, Python actually went through this whole block after this condition has been met, it still went ahead to execute this whole block, okay? But this other one, once the condition is met, that ends the if command there, okay? I don't know if that's understood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so that's the difference, okay? Not as if both of them won't work, it will work, but to save time, okay, to save your application from lagging, okay, you want to use the if elif statement. Okay, so that is it for today's class, the if statement. So so far we've learned the input function, the print function, and now we've covered the if statement. Okay, but when you guys go back and just play along with this thing, just play around, okay? I would say, okay, when you go back, you try writing an application that's, let me say, should I say health recommendation? Okay, I'll write mine, then in the next class, I'll show you guys, okay? Just try that out and using the input, the print, and as well as the if and the elif block and else, okay? So that is it for today.
Is there somewhere we can get some basic programming questions like what you have taught us now that we can be using to practice?
Yes. Okay. Yes. But if you go to your Google Chrome and probably just search for basic Python questions, okay? Let me try doing that for basic Python questions. I think you'll get
not difficult ones. So like these types that you have been telling us now.
Yeah, basic. Just
there are some difficult ones that you cannot even.
Basic Python questions, okay?
I don't want to see the difficult ones yet. I just want these small ones.
For practice, let's just see. Basic physical questions for practice. Okay, let's just look for practice. Okay, let's see if you Python exercises. Let's just okay. Let's see. Yeah. You just Google them and then I think this one you actually okay. So see, okay, this is another one. See them here. You see this question. Write a program to print the following string. Okay, probably the one that looks difficult, you might actually skip it. Okay?
Not taught us this one. No. I want the one that you have.
We've not done something.
Okay, fine.
Are looking hard.
Yeah, that's
little star. You want to write poem with Python?
That's strings. Okay.
Okay, so I think we can actually just put up some questions and just
no problem.
drop on the
so I
channel.
don't overrun your time.
Okay, yeah.
We'll try. We'll look for questions. Looks like there are a lot online.
Hello.
Yeah.
There is this platform, W3 Schools. You can type W3 School and it will actually teach you how to code. When you go to W3 School, you will see the programming languages available. I think there is Python as well. It will teach you how to code and it will give you a platform that you can code there. And whilst coding, you'll be asked questions too. So it takes you gradually.
Is this one free too?
Yeah, it's free.
It's free.
Is it free? Okay.
Yeah, it's
free. And you can try Free Camp Code too. It's another platform.
Free Code Camp.
Yeah, Free Code Camp. Sorry. Free Code Camp too, and it's another platform that teaches you. So that's where I am now.
Free code what?
Free Code Camp, as in camp meeting.
Okay, camp. Okay.
Just type that and you'll get the websites. It's around.
Thank you so much, man.
Bye.
That's helpful.
Okay. So that's pretty all for the lesson for today. Okay.
Thank you.
We'll see again in next week Monday. And
that's next week Monday.
That'll be next week.
Yes.
You guys have fun, man.
We really appreciate. Thank you all so much.
A lot of resting time.
Yeah, a lot of resting time for you guys. No, don't rest though. Actually, Just keep practicing. There's no resting time. Just keep practicing. All right.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you very much, Mr. Savior, and everyone who has joined the call. I believe today's session was also very, very insightful. So yes, so it's not really resting time, practice. Of course, practice makes perfect. So we'll see you in the next class. Thank you very much and have a wonderful night.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.